What's up, everybody? It is Matt from ElectricAllWheel, and today we have the Heybike Mars 2.0. Now, this bike has the same specs battery for the original 1.0 at 48 volt, 12.5 amp hours. They changed the body style and the mount, but the concept is still the same. We have not been into the controller, but we anticipate a bit larger controller for the 750 watt rear hub motor, and we'll use the 40 amp balancer kit install with bullet connectors. We are going to use the 48 volt 10 amp hour battery that we typically use. You are not restricted to this battery. Keep in mind, you can get any 48 volt battery you want. Make sure that your BMS allows for the current limit and that you have a place to store it. And above all, make sure to match the factory system specs of 48 volts for the bike itself. This bike is ripe for saddlebags with batteries, a rear rack battery, potentially a battery right here if somebody wants to place it on the body, but we're just going to strap this right here for demonstration purposes, just so we can prove the concept of the install. We anticipate running the balancer or cable from the controller housing out and then putting the balancer wherever the battery is instead of putting the balancer inside the controller housing. This may change if we find some better spacing, but right now we anticipate that controller is taking up more room because it will be bigger than the 1.0. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida Facebook group. If you're in the area, get in there, make an event, and go for a ride with your e-bike friends. Here we go. Bullet connectors, that's good. Tight spacing as anticipated. Current limit 20. Alright, so our plan is to just get our cables in here and then get out of this compartment. There is a lot of room over the top, so we'll use this top spacing to help place some of the extra wiring that comes from the bullet adapters. There are two openings, one up front here. This one looks spaced, so we'll probably have to pull the grommet out. And then there's another one here. It feels like this one has the most. This will have to be a grommet out, so we'll pull that, get the XT60s in there, and then probably run them out and around this way, put the extra wiring here, connect to the bullet connectors. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull this grommet off. Like, they didn't run it through, they actually cut it at factory, so I just wrapped around these two, which, okay. So this is the space that's left, and I know I'll feed the pieces in one at a time. That way I can make the connections with these bullet connectors. For these, I just kind of pull back these arms and then separate. Make sure that you don't break those. So I'm going to take my bullet adapters from the kit. The controller would be the female XT60, so we're going to plug that in here. And then for this one, we're going to push down this sheathing so we can actually get to the bullet. And then we're going to place that right there. Perfect. And for these applications, I like to give it a wrap of electrical tape. So same thing for the negative on the other one. This is the male XT60. This goes to the battery connection. So there's black. And then red. So just to demonstrate, all we've done is intersected the actual connection. This takes it right back to factory if you want it. Okay, we know that we need a male and female extension cable through the housing, so we're going to make sure we get a male and female end. So there's that. And there's that. And I'm just going to go ahead and plug them in. Perfect. And then what I think I'm going to do is just kind of try and get the bulk of all of this over the top, because there was all that space left there. Yeah, that's going to work out very well. There we go. All right, we have our two cables out, so we can get those, and we're going to get them up into this area. That's beautiful. So we are moments away. Also, right now, these are just extensions of the factory connection. So if I bring them together, I should be able to get power to the... There we go. And voila. No miles. Yeah, we haven't ridden it yet. Okay, we are out of the housing. I just demonstrated that this works. I'm going to undo these connections. For this application, you are going to have to get an extra set of cables with the 40 amp balancer kit. That's to bring it all the way to the rear rack. So when you pull your two cables that you ran into the housing out, just go ahead and extend them with the respective ends of the cable. There we go. And we're going to put that on up through here. And then that gets you all the way to the rear rack. There's plenty of room. You can bag right here. You can have a setup on the rack. And then, of course, what we're going to do is have our second battery here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a hold of my balancer and grab my two cabled ends. We know that one is out to the controller, which is going to be this one. You can't really mess it up. They're only gonna plug in one way. And then there we go, that's the other. So now we have a factory connection. Let's go ahead and test that without plugging in the second battery. I can already tell it has power, but let's demonstrate. There we go. It's off. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take the first battery off right now, which is this one. So we have no batteries, it's out to the controller. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this one in. There we go. So the other battery, the factory battery, is not hooked up. You can already tell it's got power. Excellent. And then just for the sake of demonstration, perfect. That is the second battery. We know that there is no hookup for the primary battery here, but if we want to, we can go ahead and plug that in because we are just about done. There we have it. Now we're going to take our excess cable. We're going to get our balancer up into this bag just for stowage and demo. And give this a zip tie. I'm not leaving this today. We're going to do a different install, but this is just so you know it works. There we have it. We'll leave those there for now, but you now have a second battery installation. If I'm gonna rack this and have a battery, I'm gonna get something much bigger. This bike deserves it. It's a 750 watt rear hub, but this does give you 10 extra amp hours, and it is a good demonstration of how the ElectricAllWheel dual battery discharge balance kit works. There is another way where you can actually bring it out to the front, so I can go ahead and demonstrate that too. So for this battery, I've already cut my bands, but if you haven't, then you just save them there. You use this strap and put it here, and then you can actually have your battery on your crossbar of your bike. We cut these specifically fit for electric, but they do come longer, so you will have the opportunity to strap them. And if not, even if not, there are extension Velcro straps. Well, there we have it. We have now a dual battery Heybike Mars 2.0. This thing has a larger current output, so we used a 40 amp dual battery discharge balance kit. Remember, you are not specifically isolated to this 10 amp hour battery. You can get any amp hour battery you want. Make sure the BMS has a current output capable of handling the controller, as we said, 25. And then make sure that it matches the system voltage of 48 volts. So the numbers that everybody wants are the calculations for range. So here we go. We have a 12.5 amp hour factory battery, and we added a 10 amp hour 48 volt battery. So 12.5 plus 10 equals 22.5 times 48, which equals 1,080 watt hours. The mica toll constant says it's 25 watt hours per mile ridden. So we're gonna go ahead and divide that by 25 equals 43.2 miles. So with this battery setup, both batteries fully charged, you get 43.2 miles of range. That is a long extended ride with your dual battery setup on the Heybike Mars 2.0. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe. YouTube is our primary. We really appreciate any love that you can show us there. And then if you're in the Tampa Bay area, E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida, get into that Facebook group, make an event, and go for a ride with your e-bike friends. Check out our other Heybike videos. If you have any questions, give us an email at electricallwheel@gmail.com. Check out electricallwheel.com for the store and all the products we offer, and the other videos showing dual battery, discharge balance kits, and other accessory installs, and then whatever else we have in store for you. We'll talk to you next time.